All right, there we go. Hey guys, W Drums here. Let me just fix the camera tripod real quick. Going live again. As I promised in the last video, I was going to do another Where I've Been video. I was studying the footage of the last one. Pardon the foggy looking atmosphere. I know Steve Smith made a funny comment a while ago that it looks like something's on fire. Nothing's on fire, it's just really foggy for some reason looking back, and it's really weird. Let me see if I can access comments through my computer on the other side, because I was really annoyed that I couldn't. It was such a complex thing doing it on my computer, so I was kind of shocked. Let me see if it'll allow me to do that or not. I'm hoping it will. There we go, perfect. Okay, so it's a lot like, looks like it's a lot like my live streams for YouTube, for the video games. Cool, let's get the chat thing open, a new window then. Let's see here. Hopefully this works. There we go. Excellent. All right, so I can engage with everybody at the same time. Perfect. What's up, Alex? Jordan, hello. Blake, hello. Cameron. What's up, Marley? All right, guys, so let's get right to it. Am I getting a Nintendo Switch? I definitely want to get one. My buddy mentioned how great it is. I'm sorry, this stupid phone tripod is so hard to work with because you have to make sure the legs are right and all that. Sorry about that. All right. So yeah, I will try to get a Switch and try to get Imaginators for it. Maybe Zelda. I've never really played Zelda, believe it or not. It never really interested me that much. So we'll see though. So I got a whole list here. I'm actually prepared for once. It's not going to be one of those rants where I just randomly go off in a tangent. It's probably will regardless, but I have some kind of idea here. So I'm trying to think of where to start. It's going to get deep real fast. I'm going to warn everyone now. I'm going to try not to name drop. I'm going to try. We'll see what the Lord puts on my heart. But so let's rewind the clocks back, as the Joker would say, about 3 years. Okay. We're going to rewind the clocks back to back when I'm in college. This is around 2014, as I dated it above. So a little beforehand, I went to E3. It's my second time going. First time was great. I loved it. It was wonderful. I didn't realize how many other people filmed Skylanders like I did. I thought I was one of the only ones, so it shocked me. So when I got out of E3, it really expanded my horizons on how, wow, I've got a lot of competitors. I've got a lot of other people doing the same kind of stuff, or better. Better filming, better thumbnails. So I had to recreate my image and things like that. And so it was definitely a new competitive kind of edge me that came out. So this was like in 2014, I'm going to say around, because that's when I graduated in college, senior year. So we'll say 13-ish to 14 area. I'm not going to really care about the technicalities. So basically, I'm trying to think how I want to script this out. So after I got out of E3, everything was a little bit different. I was a bit more competitive. I also, like I said, I need to reevaluate my image and my ideas and try new things and get new audiences going and stuff. So I befriended a certain Skylander lover that I thought was going to be a great friend to this day. Unfortunately, did not work out that way. I'm not going to use his real name. Just going to say he loves doing rap videos on Skylanders. So I'm going to leave it at that. Thought we had a great friendship when we first met. I didn't even know who the dude was when I ran into him. And then everybody's like, oh my God, you're this guy. Wow. Holy cow. You've got this many subscribers. Like, wow, you're huge. I had no idea who this dude was. We became friends. We had the same common interests. So that's what happened. So we went to Vicarious Visions together. A couple of us were invited to Vicarious Visions, which at the time were making Swap Force. This is around the Swap Force years. So what happened was we were still friends with Vicarious Visions. We were talking about Skylanders. We're all pumped about the new stuff. Slow but surely, those things started to not add up. So, for instance, E3 first year, there was a glass case of many Skylanders none of us were allowed to touch. Those were Firecracken, Grilla Drilla, Spy Rise, a couple of those. Nobody was allowed to see. They were off limits to everybody that came to E3 on Activision's behalf. Now, however, this person was allowed to break free of that little bit of guidelines, which was a little irritating. That's where things started to get a little fishy because his views went up like crazy. The dude's channel blew up like intensely because of this. It was one of the big things that blew it up because he had things that nobody was allowed to touch. So that was one of the things that didn't add up in my mind. I was keeping track. So Vicarious Visions rolls around. We're there, we're having fun and stuff, learning about the new game. Everything's really cool. And I remember hanging out with him afterwards, one-on-one. We really became, I thought, close. Like, we established a friendship. I got to know about his family and, like, what he did with his life. Did he go to college? Was he a believer in God? Things like that. It was really interesting getting to know the depth of him. However, I picked up a pattern that I'll later follow through to now. Everything was always against him. The whole world was at him. He was paranoid about everybody wanting something from him. It's all about him. I didn't realize it until slowly much later on. So, wind the clocks forward a little bit. And the reason why this ties so heavily into a big discussion of where this is going is because my ex-girlfriend, it's going to tie into what happened with her. So, I remember very clearly the video that really sparked a war with us, which I didn't intend to at all, and I want to get these facts straight. I'm not doing this to bash anybody, but just to get the truth out. I'm tired of the nonsense that I see on it still. And so basically, we both that night were talking on the phone and stuff, really excited. Activision sent us that huge package of different stuff. We're like freaking out and like filming and all that stuff. It's great. We're having fun talking about the new things. Oh, dude, you can find the jeweled sapphires in these locations. Go to this place to level your guys up. Really cool things. Him and I discovered the money cheat for Swap Force with Popthorn and the dummy thing around the same exact time. I kid you not, we literally posted it the same time frame. I was maybe an hour earlier than his, but it was almost identical. And people were calling me a copycat. People were calling me a poser and all this stuff, and it was really getting on my nerves. And I tried to set the record straight with his viewers. I'm like, listen, we came up with the same idea conveniently the same time. He was telling me about it that night. He's got a video he wants to show me the next day. I told him, that's funny. I'm working on a really interesting one right now as well. It was the same thing. It was nuts. We just had the same exact thought. It was crazy. I remember after that, we started getting a little bit of beef because he wasn't liking what I was saying and stuff. And I owned up to it. You know, I texted him. We spoke on the phone multiple times. But he is an abuser, a manipulative mind, a narcissist. And I am going to get into more in depth with this because this is where my ex comes in. So basically, here I think I have this great friend and stuff who's looking after my well-being. Little did I realize he was probably jealous of me to some degree, which is why it fueled what he did. And so, well, I thought we were all water under the bridge kind of thing. So like a couple weeks later, I'm looking on the Dark Spiral forums, and no, I'm sorry, my buddy was. I was sleeping at the time from college in my apartment. Nico, you saw him in my old videos, my old psychotic roommate. So he wakes me up. He's like, hey, listen, bro, we got to go to BJ's now or Sam's Club now. I'm like, what? Why? He's like, they got new Skylanders. You got to get them. You got to make videos on these before anybody else. Once again, this is getting to that competitive nature, which I hated because it wasn't fun anymore. So we go to BJ's. I find Scorp, Riptide. God, there's a couple other ones. A couple other Skylanders that nobody had yet, and I felt like a cloud nine. I had to get these videos. I had to do path guides, so I did all that. I remember that night I get a text from him, and he's like, hey bro, what the heck? He's like, I let you know about the legendary gold ones or whatever in Toys R Us that day, and you didn't tell me about this? I literally was half asleep when my buddy told me about this. I didn't know what we were doing. He just told me to get ready. And he was telling me the whole time, he's like, you got to film. He's like, no time to talk to anybody. He's like, you got to get on these. He was kind of like my manager almost. Because controlling, manipulative types are what narcissists are. And you will learn that later on in this video. So then he got really butthurt about it. And I explained to him the circumstance. He's like, you know what, bro? He's like, whatever, man. He was like looking at me like this two-faced jerk. So I'm like, okay, I'm sorry, bro, but, you know, my bad. So later on, I remember I tried to call him and explain what really went down once I was done with my videos. And he's like, hey, man, I'm right now busy editing some videos right now. We could talk later. So I'm like, all right, just letting you know what happened. I'd like to clear things up. There's no beef between us. So then it gets funnier where that exact night he posts a bunch of videos of going Skylander hunting. There's a hint right there as to who it is. And him and his family, his kids screaming their heads off in the store is very appropriate. And I remember seeing all these different Wave 3 Swap Force figures. He found all of them. Gorilla Drill, Spire Eyes, Rubble Rouser, I think, Firecracker, all these different ones that I didn't have. And on top of the ones I already found in BJ's, or Sam's Club. So I don't know if that was karma for me or whatever, but I didn't intend for it to be like, I'm not going to tell anybody. I'm focused on my channel, doing my thing. And so what happened was, then after that, I see him releasing all these videos, as I was saying. I'm like, oh, isn't that funny? Because you gave me how much crap about not telling you about this one said thing when you did the exact same thing behind everybody's back. And you did this at like 1 a.m. You were uploading all those videos as you were, I know you were at Toys R Us first, and then you were uploading all the videos. So it was very hypocritical. I tried to talk to him about it, and here I am trying to feel like I'm feeling like a crappy person, like, oh my God, I'm the worst person in the world, because that's what narcissists do. Look them up. I'm going to get into this more later. Narcissist, a very key word of this description of what's going to be the key pattern throughout a lot of these depressing events that happen through these 3 years. They drain you like crazy. You're through an emotional roller coaster. You never know when they're telling the truth. So I remember then later, after all that, I started observing his... Yeah, I am, Kim. You're right. Yep. So I started observing his videos about his kids doing the unboxing exotic videos and smashing toys and smashing them with shovels and weapons. And I'm making a comment. I'm like, is this really kid-friendly and appropriate? Is this not a little bit a form of insanity? A little immature, inappropriate? And nobody saw anything wrong with it. Nothing. I was the psychotic, jealous one. I was the crazy one. So I thought that was really interesting. So all these parents were attacking me. And I'm looking way too in. I'm like, okay, you teach your kids then to break a toy open with a shovel. See how that goes. You let me know. So then I had to talk to him again on the phone, apologize for being such a jerk and misunderstanding him. And I thought we'd cleared everything up, but that was far from the truth. Then I never really heard from him again, in all honesty. Oh no, I'm sorry, that's what it was. Months later, this is where it got weird. I called him, or no, he called me. He called me when I'm editing a video, and I'm like, hey, bro, what's up? Didn't hear anything, but I'm hearing something in the background. I'm like, yo, man, you there? Okay, so I left the phone there on the side, the speaker ready to go whenever he spoke, or he's going to say what he said. I'm just typing away on my MacBook and editing videos and thumbnails and things like that. And it was really funny because this goes on for like 30, 40 minutes, and I'm confused out of my mind. I'm like, what is going on? Like, are you on the phone, or what's happening right now? So I remember like 30, 40 minutes later, he gets on the phone. Also, it's like, hello? I'm like, yeah, what's up? He's like, wait, you've been on the phone that long listening to me talking to my family? That's kind of weird. That's kind of creepy, man. What's your problem? Like, all of a sudden, I'm the victim here. That's the really funny coincidence you'll see here. I took responsibility for my actions. He did not. So I'm the crazy one that called him and wanted to learn about his family behind the scenes for an hour or so, whatever crap he did behind the scenes. And it was really funny because he's just making this big scene out of nothing. And I'm like, dude, get over yourself kind of thing. Like, I don't care that much. You called me. He just hangs up. He's like, yeah, I'm going to go, man. This is really weird. Hangs up on me. So that was really interesting. And then let's rewind the clock back further again. And this will be the last time I speak of him really in this video because it just boils my blood. And I had to pray a lot to get over this one. So then E3 number 2 comes around. That's where things were a little different. I saw a bit more of his true colors. He talked so much smack on all these different YouTubers. And I noticed that was a big thing with E3. Everybody used each other for their statuses in big channels. If you were a tiny little channel, you were not paid attention to. Nobody cared about you. Nobody spoke to you. Nobody gave you... You got less things in your boxes than other people at the time. You got your game a week later than everybody else. I noticed little things here, and I called Activision out multiple times, and they didn't do anything about it. So, it was really funny. So, we're at E3. We're waiting for the bus for everybody to get there, and nothing happens. So, we're like waiting for this guy, and I'm calling him up, I'm texting him, yo, man, where you at? It's like 10 in the morning. We're all waiting at the bus together to get to E3 together. And nothing, I can't get a hold of him. Find out, hours down the line, he's already at E3 since like 9 in the morning, getting all this footage and videos. He's been there for the last 2-3 days or so, getting all this footage before everybody else, because everything in his mind is a competition. Everything to him, he's got to always be the best. And he's very greedy. Very, very greedy individual. And he was there getting all this footage on stuff, beating all of us in his mind and trying to get everything before anybody else instead of it being a fair playing field of like, okay, let's just see, have some fun, meet some new people. Nothing like that. We're waiting like an hour or two for this guy, and he's already there. You know how mad that made me? That was so self-centered, I can't even. Another funny thing about that same day, my dad came with me. And I remember we had dinner with him and his family. Couldn't get a word in the whole night. It was all about him. His wife said nothing. I felt like she was some kind of prisoner of some sort. There was some kind of abusive energy, relationship tension going on that I suspected much later on as I matured throughout the years of this process. And it was very funny. She didn't say a word all night, but he was talking, flirting with everybody, wouldn't shut up. All about him. Didn't ask me or my dad anything. I mean, we didn't get anything out in the open. It was a very frustrating dinner. And then that's when I started to realize his true colors. I'm like, okay, that's what you're about. I see now. I don't want anything to do with you anymore. So that ends that rant with that category. Reason why this is so important is because the key word I was saying is narcissist. This is an abusive, toxic energy kind of person. They start off in your life, the first 3 months are amazing. They will do whatever they can to reel you in, to make you feel like you are loved by them, cherished. They'll bless you galore with gifts and things like that and affection. They'll do whatever they want for you to get you reeled in. That's the trick. Now, it takes 90 days for somebody's personality to really show. Once that ends, their real personality comes out. So my ex, I met her on a dating site. She was my first girlfriend and my only girlfriend I've had at the moment. I'm 25. So I met her when I was 21, I think. We hung out a couple times. I thought she was going to be my soulmate. Run the clocks forward. I remember being in a very abusive relationship the whole time. It was not physical, but it was all psychological, emotional trauma. Everything was always my fault. I was always the jerk in the relationship. I was the self-centered one. I did everything out of my way to get to please this woman and her psychotic family, which is where it all stems from. Narcissism tends to stem from poor upbringing from parents. They lived in a very traumatic or eventful household. That tends to be what happens as people become narcissists. Yeah, Marley's right in the comments. So this is so important because I was going through hoops left and right, being burned out. Thought this woman was going to be the love of my life. I slowly started to understand that she was taking me for granted, taking advantage of me, using me for my resources, money, anything I could do. And so I remember we would have long talks on Skype. And I remember I would sit there at the computer, literally blacked out in my mind. I've never done that before with a person except for this woman. It happened 3 or 4 times when we hung out. She told me things, or I was so in my head, or something was going on. Like there was just something not natural about our relationship. And I didn't realize it for a long time. My parents hated her. I was too stupid to see all the signs. My friends didn't like her. She tried to get me away from my friends. One of my best friends being Mike. He was in the Christmas video with me. The big, bulky, stock guy with the goatee, one of my best friends to this day. Nico and my ex, Leela, they tried to break me apart from Mike. They tried to destroy our relationship by spewing gossip and hatred and lies, things to contort my brain and thinking to go against the people that cared most for me. And that's how narcissists work. They want you alone. They want you secluded. I can't stress this enough. These people are real. They are out there. They're hungry for you. They really are. They're really like a definition of what I would think of a demon. The closest thing to like a satanic kind of energy is a narcissist. They really are. They hate God. They hate Christians. I've noticed it so many times. They only believe in themselves. They only love and care about themselves, how much money they can make, how they can use somebody. It's really dark stuff. That's why I said this is going to be a deep video, and I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. There's no point. So probably 4 months or so go by. I remember one night I'm at a dentist appointment. My ex calls me. She's crying her eyes out. Her dad hit his back against like an aquarium thing that they had over in their house because her brother's psychotic, so it's the whole family, and they wrestled. He went at his dad hardcore and hit him, and I charged into him, and he smashed his back on this thing. So she makes it sound like he's dying or something. So I'm freaking out getting home from the dentist. So I drop everything I'm doing. I go out this hospital. I don't even know where it's at. It's like an hour away. And I remember it started raining. It was pouring. It was dark. It was cold. My GPS died on me like twice. My phone was acting up. Couldn't get signal. I was freaking out. I was getting so mad. She's texting me and calling me. Where are you, Dan? What the hell's going on? What's your problem? Why aren't you here? I finally get there. I go to the hospital. I literally remember my whole body was covered in a kind of like a numb, tingly feeling. My whole body covered in that feeling. I thought I was going to have some kind of heart attack or breakdown or something. I was at her breath. I'm like, excuse me, nurse, where's so-and-so? I need to speak to him. I get there. My ex didn't give a damn that I was there. Her whole family couldn't care less that I was there. I could almost passed out or had a heart attack or whatever on the floor. Nobody cared. That's what we're dealing with here, folks. Narcissists are cold, heartless people. Granted, no sin is worse, or greater, or better, or worse, or anything like that. They're all the same in God's eyes, but I'm telling you how it is. These people live like this. This is their lifestyle. They have no problems with it. They are psychologically damaged and screwed up. Correct, Kim. Skylander Dad is not the person you think he is. You are correct, 100%. And this is not coming out of jealousy. This is coming out of educating people on the truth. God has a way in Scripture, he says, how the darkness will come to light kind of thing. I screwed the Scripture up, but it's something like that. Basically, all these deeds from underground kind of thing that were under the radar, they will surface to the light where everybody will see, everybody will know the truth. And, yeah, pretty much more than so, my ex, I remember after that, he started to get really bad. Fighting every night. Everything's my fault again. I don't want to talk to her family. I hate her animals. Like, oh, it's just coming all these crazy things, man. I remember I didn't hear from her for 2 weeks. And then I get a long 5-page text about how she doesn't want to be with me anymore. She doesn't see this working out. And I'm like freaking out. This is my first love of my life. I thought she was going to be my wife. And I spent like 2-3 hours on the phone upstairs. I come back down after the whole thing. My buddies are like, dude, what happened? You look like a ghost. You look like you lost your best friend. That's how draining these people are. And this is why you understand the trend as to why I was not making videos. I was depressed. I was incredibly depressed. Incredibly abused. Emotionally traumatized. People don't understand the severity of what these people do to you. Not physically necessarily, they can be. But emotionally and psychologically is what I'm getting at here, folks. This is so crucial. So, let me see here. Crap, what's my battery? I just thought of that. I might have to charge my battery real quick. Hold on just a sec. Sorry, guys. Got a charger. Just gotta find the cord real quick. Where is the cord at? Is that really long one I brought? Yeah, I'm doing this on my phone. I wanted to do it on my computer, but I completely spaced out. My phone's not really charged that much, so I need to make sure I can keep the lifespan of this phone going. So let me just... I'm sorry about this. This is so unprofessional. There we go. Beautiful. All right. I'm back. As I said, look how blurry the place looks. It's the lighting. It really is. It's weird. All right. So let me fix that. So what I was getting at. So now, I got that long text. I was talking on the phone for a long time. She basically broke up with me. She said maybe we should go on a break. And then, like I was saying, I didn't hear anything from her for like 2 weeks. And I got her flowers for Valentine's Day. Didn't hear a thing. And then I remember I was texting her family, everybody that supposedly cared about me, and I was texting all of them like, hey, like, is Leela okay? Like, I haven't heard anything from her. Is she all right? Because I know she had depression and anxiety. All of these psychotic people do. They all have depression, anxiety, all these psychological disorders. They have it. And I truly believe it's because they haven't repented and come to the Lord and given it to Jesus. Because if they did, that darkness would be clear of them if they truly repented and wanted to be better people and get away from this abusive, manipulative lifestyle. Because it's all about control. That's what their prime objective is, to control whoever they can. That's what they want. It's their only thing. That's what my ex wanted. She couldn't control me, so she had to end it. Kim, no, he's not a bad guy. I don't know him that well. He didn't really talk to me that much. We've talked a little bit, but I don't know much about him, so I can't really say. But so, let me see here. Okay, so yeah. So we break up. She didn't verbalize it or anything. Like, I didn't hear from her. We ended it. I was heartbroken. And at the time, my roommate Nico was trying to separate me from my friend Mike, so it was Leela, because he was the only person that was sane enough to understand what was going on in my life. So all of these things were just crumbling on top of me, one after another. So then, let's rewind the clocks forward a little bit now, or fast forward the clock now to, I get done college. I hated it in all honesty. The one thing I gotta mention with college too is I was streaming Lego videos and things like that. People don't understand that I was in an apartment, so my internet was garbage. It was literally gonna take me like 40 hours to upload like a 10-minute clip of HD footage in my apartment. So I had to drive all the way over to the library, sit there, depending on how populated it was, because that would take up the RAM and the data and stuff, so it would be slower. A simple 5-minute upload would be like hours if I wasn't careful. So I would have to go at like midnight or 11 o'clock just sitting there in the library waiting, and it got too frustrating, guys. I lost my ex-girlfriend. I lost connections with a friend in the Skylander community I thought really cared about me but just wanted to use me. I almost lost one of my best friends. I remember leaving that college graduation. I didn't speak to him for a year, guys. A year. How screwed up of me was that? Because my head was so screwed up and filled with lies, I didn't know who to believe. And like, it was just unreal. I'm so blessed that he did allow me to go back into his life. God one day put it in my mind, like a year later, he's like, you should call Mike and just tell him what's up and apologize, kind of thing. And I did just that, and our friendship is stronger than ever. We had to go through some bumps before I appreciated and understood what I really had and what friendship we had that I could treasure. So that was a big thing. So then, fast forwarding the clocks now, I get a job out of college. It's a car dealership job. I don't recommend anybody who works at a car dealership. They are so corrupt. It's unreal what they think they can do above the law, and they get away with it constantly. My bosses were very abusive as well. Same exact kind of, my ex Leela, kind of like energy. I'm not going to use his real name because that's disrespectful, but Sky Dad, same kind of energy, same kind of vibes. Great at first 3 months of work, I'm loving, or like first couple months of work, I'm loving. They're subtly trying to change my appearance. They're trying to change my hair, the way I talk, the way I act, the way I dress. And so it was getting bad real fast. I was being trained to be their internet director. For basically, people called us in and we handled appointments for getting these car sales for the car salesman. And I remember, that's our house phone. But I remember, I wrote a list actually of how I was feeling and like how the bosses and all the coworkers were like bullies to me. Everybody loved putting me down and making a jerk out of me. They loved putting me in predicaments to make me look stupid, or it hurt. It hurt so much. It hurt so much. And I remember what happened was I wrote this list out. I showed my boss it. He crumpled it up in front of me. Crumpled it up, threw it away, and said, "That's nice, Danny. Now get back to work." Kid you not, I was in tears. It was awful. I remember I got let go from that place. They offed me a day before my benefits kicked in the 90 days. And they used me for their biggest week of the end of the month. They used me like crazy to do the hardest work. They knew they had me. They like, oh, we'll fire him if he doesn't work hard. So I was really trying to prove I'm meant to be here because they had a meeting with me. They don't think I'm meant to be here. This and that. It's not for me. So I wanted to prove them wrong. God always has a way at looking for the best for you no matter what the circumstance, even though it didn't feel like that at the time. I appreciate that, Marley. I don't like bullies either, McFadden. I really don't. And a lot of narcissistic personalities are, unfortunately. And I remember I left that car dealership job. They called me over at the end of the day, and they fired me. They said, "This isn't working out. Like, we're going to have to fire you." So let me go. I remember I said goodbye to a couple of my coworkers I was close to, and I remember crying my eyes out. I felt like such a failure, the worst person in the world. I felt like garbage, felt like trash. Like it was not good enough for anybody or any business. And this is all, mind you, with all of the Skydad nonsense, the Nico nonsense, the Mike and Leela drama, all that stuff, all boiling inside my mind and emotions as well that hadn't been fully released. I'll get to that later. A lot of stuff churning up in there, and I was crying my eyes out. I didn't want to disappoint my mom more than anything because she's very work-driven, very money-driven. So I know if I don't have a career, she gets really angry and disappointed. So I didn't want to disappoint her, and that scared me more than anything, not having a job to tell her that. So let's fast forward the clocks now to my second job. I was seeing a skin healer guy for a while, laser surgeon. He healed my acne scars. They're not as bad as they used to be. They used to be very deep. He healed them for like 3 or 4 years, and I remember we had a relationship. He found out I got fired. He's like, my mom saw him in his services recently, and she's like, "Yeah, Danny just got fired." He's like, "Oh, well, bring him over. I got a job for him." Process, in a nutshell, folks, starts all over again. I thought this guy was going to be a great boss. 3 months or so go by. I'm working there for 6 months. He's a tyrant. Treats everybody like crap behind the scenes. Everything's your fault. Demanding insane amounts of work, no extra pay. Or he's throwing extra raises out. I got 2 raises in 2 months. That fast. And then he's threatening me about I could lose it. Because he's like, "Hey, Dan, if you don't do this or you're not proving you're worthy of this." He would say worthy all the time like he's some god. This man hated my Christian faith so much, he told me to take off "God bless" after my personal voicemail on my phone. That's how psychotic and anti-God these people are. Greatest thing is his wife worked there. I thought she was a good friend of mine, and she vented to me about every imaginable terrible thing he's done to her and their relationship and marriage throughout work every day. And as I explained in my last video, I'm an empath, so I absorb all these emotions and energies to the highest, most extreme capability sometimes. And I absorbed all that. And I've been taking all this while trying to do my workload at the same time. It was a lot. It was a lot of stress. His son was the vice president of this company I was working for, and he was a narcissist too because his dad was one. So he grew into that lifestyle. And it was awful. I get set up to be fired. I literally remember I was talking to him about something. I was doing my work, and he comes over to me. He's like, "Yeah, Dan, you're fired. Get out of here. You're done." Because a couple times, just like the car dealership, I stood up to them. That's one thing you cannot do with a narcissist because they will disown you for it. They will punish you. My ex punished me. She would not text me back for long periods of time or return my calls or talk to me. It was a punishment. You are treated like a child when you do them wrong. Anything in their mind, you do them wrong, honestly. You're wrong all the time no matter what you do. That's how warped they are. You can't win. You're constantly stepping on eggshells, where the term comes from. And so what happened with that was I left his heater on for Thanksgiving break. That thing really ticked him off. It didn't burn the place down. You just unplugged it and you were fine. He was overacting to a whole nother level. He made a pretty big jerk out of me in front of everybody and disowned me in front of all the coworkers one day, and I told him off, and I called him a narcissist to his face. I stood up for myself, and he didn't like that. He said, "You know what? You got to cool off and go home. You're not going to work today. Just go home." So I did. I said, "Fine, I will." Came back. I thought I was going to lose my job the next day. He does what any narcissist does, is they'll apologize, but then what happens is it's an abusive relationship pattern you have to be very, very, very careful with. This happened with Skydad, it happened with Nico, it happened with Tobias, my dermatologist guy. All these people, they did so much bad things to me, and then they apologize for it, and then all of a sudden we're on good terms, and they do that. They reel you back in thinking everything's okay. They've changed. They're different. No, they aren't. They're lying to you. That's their abusive ways. Sooner or later, a couple weeks later, he shows his real colors again. Back to exactly what happened. I expressed everything that was the problem, and that's it. And he fired me, said I wasn't good enough, and that's what it was. He couldn't find an expensive key because I used to take this man's packages in every day into his car. That's how out of whack this guy was with his power trip. He thought because he gave me the job, what an honor it was to serve him and only him kind of thing, that I was getting this man's groceries. I was getting his packages in. I watched his house for a day when he was getting movers in. They were all black. I think he was a racist. Like things like that. There was a lot of things that weren't adding up. I remember, what else was it? Let me think. Oh yeah, the key thing though. I would do his dishes, things like that. Insane things beyond my jurisdiction of a job. And he made it purposely done so that way, so I was always kind of like a slave to him. And all the women that worked for him, very beautiful, intelligent, smart, powerful women, all of them were submissive as can be. Wouldn't say a word, wouldn't talk back. They just took it because of that paycheck. I am not one of those people. I can't do it. I can't. So he can't find this expensive key that I supposedly misplaced 2 weeks ago, mind you. How the heck am I supposed to remember if it was me or not? Virtual high five right back. Or as PewDiePie says, bro fist. Don't you dare copyright me on that, PewDiePie. I'm just kidding. Chill. You got enough money anyway. I remember, so he's like freaking out. All of a sudden it's an issue that day. And I get fired on the spot. This is a man that gave me 2 raises in the last 2 months because of my great work ethic and my promise for the company. And he's firing me the next month. Makes no sense. Which is what they do. They never add up. Anything Skydad said, Nico said, my ex said, all these people, their words never add up. That's one thing I challenge all of you to do in the future. I should have done this, is write a list down. When you're dating somebody or you meet a new friend or coworker or boss, write down all the things they promise you, and within the course of 90 days, see if they live up to any of those. And if they haven't, call them out on it. I should have done that because I would have had a list of things that I could have been like, wow, you were talking out of your butt. Here. Oh, this too? Okay. Where's that car you promised? Okay. Just saying. So they fire me. Here's the funny thing. I leave, and the doc's son texts me, who was the vice president. He's like, hey, Dan, I'm sorry, man. My dad's been on a rampage lately. He fired our COO, or the second in command, basically. He fired our accountant. He fired people left and right. Just like my last job recently. And it was really funny. I remember him texting me. He's like, yeah, sorry about that. You'll find something better, man. And he's like, yeah, we found the package a couple minutes after you left. Oh, really? Did you now? Okay, then. So I texted him. I said, wow, Kevin. All right. So can I go back to work then? Because obviously it wasn't my fault. You guys found it. Didn't hear anything. I texted the doc with a picture message of what happened. I said, this is what your son said. You found it. You know you found it, and you're still framing me for stealing or misplacing your product. Okay. Never heard from him again. Never want to. And I had to hold back a lot on like reviewing his company very poorly. I'm not going to give his company out or anything like that because it's wrong of me. I'm not going to defame him and all that. It's not what I'm here to do. I'm just here to be real with you guys and say this stuff is existing right now as we speak. It's all over the place. Social media has made a big impact on it. So now, we got those topics out of the way. We're getting close to being done. I don't want to be too long, but this is all important stuff. Next thing, a big thing, Activision. So, first year of Activision E3, amazing. So blessed. Swap Force, amazing. They're sending me all this free stuff. Trap Team in E3 number 2 is where things started to get fishy. So, get to E3. I told you guys all about the bus ride thing. That's one strike there. Nobody really paid attention to me. Nobody cared I was there. Nobody wanted to know how I was doing or remember me. They're all about the big top subscribing people. Most of the top subscribing people, mind you, don't know a darn thing about the product. They don't know the names of the past. They don't know the characters. They don't know the powers. They're just doing it for money and to exploit their children for cash. That is the honest truth I've come up with. That's not out of jealousy. That's out of being finally sticking my head like out of the sand kind of thing and being open to what's really happening here. Granted, some of them, I'm not saying all, I think some of them actually are genuinely doing it because it's a fun way for them to bond with their kids. However, others, it doesn't add up when you're seeing them pump out videos and videos with little tiny children that are exhausted in the videos. The dad's yelling at them. He's verbally abusive to them or the wife. He burns his son with a laptop and thinks it's funny. Yeah, check that one out. I don't have the actual video, but that's on that guy's channel. Things like that. And so, just exposing what it is kind of thing. And so at Activision, so E3 just didn't feel the same. I remember CoinOp TV, good buddy of mine. He's a genuine individual. I'm not bashing him for a second. He's a good guy. He's looked out for me for a long time. And he's been screwed over by a lot of people, he told me, in the past as well. He doesn't open up very easy, and I can understand why in that kind of business. He mentioned, he's like, hey man, he's like, you don't seem like you're having fun. Are you all right? I was so in my own head. I didn't know what even happened that day. I was not having that much fun. Everybody's all like acting like they're on cocaine and just high out of their minds kind of thing. And like, I wasn't feeling that at all. I wasn't that excited to be there anymore. It was really crowded. Everybody's all pushy and shovey and all self-centered and all about them. Only certain people interviewing each other's channels. And it was just depressing. I felt like an outcast that time. And I remember with Trap Team comes around, I remember the game got released. Certain people received the game a week or so in advance of anybody else. Because why? They had more subscribers, more viewers. And then I remember, what was it? I remember that they got more figures than everybody else too. It's like, if you're going to invite me on this journey and to help me promote your product, it should be done equally and distributed fairly, not sided. There's always politics involved with everything. Be very mindful of that. That's the problem that I had with being the supporter I did for a long time with Activision. I started to realize I'm a pawn. It hurt me a lot. I remember the last time I really spoke with them thoroughly was when I got the dark and light level packs for Trap Team. I didn't even open them. Didn't even play with them because I was that depressed. That's around when I lost my job with my skincare guy. I was so depressed. I was so miserable. I didn't know who to trust. A couple of my friends, Malistol, a couple of the other ones, Legendary Rider, Heather, a couple of them. I got rid of all of them on Facebook. I deleted them. I blocked them. I blocked everybody. I took so many people off. I didn't know who to trust anymore. Narcissistic abuse repercussions equals you not trusting yourself or anybody anymore. You have a hard time confining to the right people because you think they're going to hurt you or take advantage of you, take you for granted, use you, make a jerk out of you. I'm trying to watch my language, so I'm saying jerk. Really bad stuff, guys. Like really dark, deep stuff. I remember getting those packages and just feeling like a pawn. Like, That's all I started to feel like with Activision. And, stupid thing. There we go. And, I remember I made it apparent to the PR guy, I won't mention his name, but I stated to him, I called him like, yo, man, I said, E3 number 3 comes around for Skylanders. Why don't I get an invite? Not that I felt entitled to one at the time, more so I just wanted an honest explanation. I told him exactly my thoughts. I said, you brought certain high subscribing YouTubers along that also had kids, and you brought their kids along, which was usually outside of the E3 description. They had to be a certain age. I was very irritated because I've been busting my butt off for these people that don't really care about me. And that's how you do me. And I told him that. I said, this seems to be more like a high views and subscriber thing, my friend. I said, this doesn't seem like you guys care anymore about the ones that actually give a darn about your product. I told him that. I said, I've been loyal to you guys for 4 years. 2 years, I didn't make a dime or anything all of it. I didn't get any toys or anything. I bought everything myself. I did everything myself. And that's how you do me? You like, just things like that. And he lied to me. He was like, yo, it's not what it's about. No. Really? I told him, really, dude, because that's exactly what it looks like. I told him I played Destiny. He sent me a couple demos and stuff. Didn't send me anything since, kind of thing. Things like that. They're fake. Granted, I still play their products. The products themselves are pretty wonderful. However, the people behind them, not so much. I studied PR as my minor in college. I hated it. It's all about making a company or person or whatever look good. You screw up or they screw up, it's their fault, not yours. And it's their job to lie and deceive and deceive the people. I remember I did a project in college. I did a paper. In a nutshell, I'll go through it real fast. So I want to end the video soon. But you were like in charge of a kids daycare thing. There's a bee exhibit in there under lock and key. Somehow the kids got in and got all stung by bees. Parents are livid. They want refunds. What do? You're the PR person. You handle it. I told them, I'm sorry for your experience. This should not have happened. They should have been trained more. They should not have gotten in. We will easily refund your money. We are sorry for any problems that happened with this. Please, if there's anything we can do, let us know. I got a D on the paper. D or C, one of the two. Because I made the company look bad for something they did wrong. Funny how that works. PR is a very corrupt industry. And that's proof of it right there. I got my grade lowered because I exposed the truth. That we screwed up, not them. The parents had nothing to do with their kids being stung. That was our fault. Got a D on it, or C. It's really corrupt, really sick. That's why scripture says the love of money, not money, the love of money is the root of all evil. That is why the love of money is so evil at the core. Because if that's all you're living for, you're not living at all. You're just living to die. And that's it. Your bank account, nobody will ever see it again. The government will probably take it, kind of thing. So I haven't heard from Activision in a long time, nor do I care. Like I said, I'm still going to promote their stuff. I'm still going to play their stuff. I don't care because I'm doing it because I love it. It's a genuine, great product. And I vouched for it for a long time. And I'm not going to feel entitled or validated anymore for these services. And that was my problem too. That was one of my issues where I had a problem with just expecting that validation, expecting things. And when you start expecting things in a relationship, that's where things get sour. That's where things get bad. So all that ties together, though, because, folks, all of this added to drama in my life, depression, sadness, mourning, trust issues. I had a hard time opening up to people, being myself, smiling again, looking at myself in the mirror and being like, hey, you sexy beast, you not. I couldn't even look at myself in the mirror the right way. It was awful. And just funny things like that are the truth. Those are the repercussions. I have a bunch of articles about narcissism if anybody's curious. Maybe I can try to post some down in the description. I don't know if I'll get in trouble for that or not. They're not mine. So I'll say that right now. They are not mine, but I can maybe post some if anybody's interested in narcissist versus empath. They're basically polar opposites. That's the key thing here with all this, is that I'm an empath. I'm the complete opposite of a narcissist, and that is why I attracted to them like glue. They want innocent people like myself that are selfless, that give a lot, too much, that care way too much about others than themselves. People that are trying to represent Christ are what empaths are. Best description I can think of. Think about anything that represents Satan kind of ideology. That's what a narcissist is. Very self-centered. All they care about is themselves. All they want to do is use people, gain as much money as they can, and then throw you away. They're just all about transaction relationships, not actually gaining, emotional connections with people and learning about their lives and stories kind of thing. So all that baggage took its toll on me. And at the time, that's right, I forgot. At the time of going through my breakup and graduating college, I lost my band. Not the one I have now, but my old band. Because why? 2 or 3 of them were narcissists as well. They were backstabbing, they lied, they cheated, they used me. There was a lot. I was heartbroken when that happened. I already lost my girlfriend, but now you're telling me I lose 4 of my best friends? That hurt. I was mad at God. You better believe it, I was mad. I lost Activision. I lost that. I lost a lot of different things. I think that was the Lord's process of humbling me, though, or protecting me, one of the two, to come back to my old roots kind of thing and get back into His Word and Bible studies and things like that. And it definitely worked. But it was a long journey. And just recently, it was a 6-month relationship. It took me almost 3 years to heal from it with my ex. I remember, this is probably where I'll end it soon. I remember Skype sent me a message saying, hey, it's Leela's birthday. Wish her a happy birthday. I lost it. I wished her happy birthday because I ended that relationship on very bad terms, as did she, because those kind of people bring you to the lowest lows, which is what they want. They feed off of drama. They feed off of insecurity. They feed off of all that kind of stuff. And I fell in all of it. Played their hands beautifully. Into their hands beautifully. And I think, where was I going with that real quick? God, it's a long video. Oh yeah. So I looked her up on Facebook. She blocked me on Facebook. I looked her up on social media. I found her Instagram. Followed it. Found out the guy she cheated on me with 2 years ago or whatever is what she's still dating now. That's the one thing I forgot to say, is that I go on Instagram. When we're going through our breakup thing, she deletes me on Facebook or blocks me, whatever. I remember she found my Instagram account. I didn't tell her I had one. She finds it, follows it. This is when we're going through those puzzling times of, like, do I love her still? Or does she still love me kind of thing? And I remember I instantly followed right back. I'm in a vulnerable state of mind, folks. I wanted to be with my girl. And I remember she unfollowed. She was screwing with my head. She knew I was going to follow her, and then she got rid of it. So then I saw all of her different posts about her being depressed. Now her heart's destroyed. I'm feeling like a piece of crap because that's what she made me feel like. 'Cause I'm the problem. I'm the one that ended it all. And all that took a huge toll on me mentally and emotionally, and who I was as a person and a man. And with the Skype thing, so I see on Instagram. Oh, sorry, that's right. So with the Instagram thing, then a couple weeks later, after I said a lot of nasty things to her, and I said a lot of nasty things about her mom finally, and her mom got involved in our relationship breakup and got all angry at me and stuff. She doesn't even know me. The mom is a narcissistic psychopath. This woman did crude and unimaginably weird, disrespectful things to me and my girl. My girl was like a slave to her mom. We were hanging out on that couch right behind, as you see, on a date. Last date I ever had with her. I remember it very well. She texted her and she was like, listen, your dog needs to be fed. Come home. My ex at the time got in a car accident, so I had to drive her home. We're on a date, mind you. Drive her home, and we're getting a big argument and stuff because I said, Leah, she's always doing this. She's always trying to destroy our dates, or always trying to destroy our fun, because I was trying to get her away from her house because it was hell where she lived. But she liked it. Misery loves its company. Remember that. And yeah, so I remember on Instagram after all this drama, mind you, I'm in my final year of college. I'm still going with the band, the YouTube channel. A lot of crap was on my plate. Dealing with Nico, destroying my relationship with Mike. A lot of stuff, folks. A lot of stuff. And it's just now I'm coming out about it, which is shocking, but it is what it is. And I remember the Instagram had a picture of her with her new man, and she had the words that she used to get my heart titled on the picture. And I lost it. I crumbled. It's really the easiest way to describe it. So now let's rewind the clock 3 years later. Skype gives me a notification. I look up her Instagram. I see she's still with the guy that cheated on me. She cheated on me with. And I was so emotionally vulnerable and terrified and all these different emotions. I literally ran outside my house blaring the Sick Puppies music. I love that band, Sick Puppies. Not the most Christian kind of band, but they're also not anti-God either. But they're very, very, very good. I love their music. I've seen them live like 3 times, backstage a couple times too. I listen to their albums like crazy, blaring in my ears as I'm crying my eyes out, screaming at the skies, just crying. Because I didn't have time to let my emotions sink in, to let my feelings ooze out. When you are in a constant state of mind, you have to get a job. I'm in a band, you're doing YouTube, you got all this crap on, you're just graduating, I gotta get a job, blah, blah, blah. You don't have time to sit there and let all the pain sink in, let all the sorrow sink in. You have to mourn and grieve in order to move on. I didn't get to that process because I had it prolonged from so many other stupid things that kept clogging up my emotional arteries, so to speak, to the point where they just bursted. And that was that night. Very thankful it happened because now I got over it. But for instance, one of the lyrics is tell me when it's over. Wake me when I'm sober. The scars are too hard to hide. I should have known better. If only I could be strong enough to see that it's over. I wish I never met you. Cause you were supposed to be coming back to me. Where are you now? I should have known better, That's an amazing chorus. And that hurt hard. That hurt really hard because it's exactly how I felt. Where are you now? To a lot of people. Where were you now? And Nico tried to get back in my life multiple times. Skydad did. My ex, not really. She pretty much offed me. And that's what narcissists do, though. They try to get you back in their control when they're running out. What you are is your narcissistic supply. That's what you call it in a psychological term. They need constant people to reevaluate and validate their self-worth, their ego, their confidence level. That's what they pride themselves off of. That's why they constantly have boyfriends or girlfriends. What they constantly need attention. Notice the one I mentioned, how much attention the man needs every single video. It's because he is so insecure, and I feel so sorry for him. I really do. Because it's the truth. They're dead inside. And that's why I feel so bad for my ex and my ex-bosses, because they're so hateful and evil inside their hearts because they're jealous of who I am and what I've become and how secure I am as a man, how confident I am, that I love people for who they are, that I don't try to change people, things like that. And they're envious. They're very envious beings. They'll never probably admit it, but they're very envious. It's why they want you. It's why they want to use you, figure out what you have and how they can get it. But pretty much it in a nutshell, guys. Like I said, it was going to be a deep video. I didn't lie. But yeah, the Sick Puppy songs really helped heal me. They were incredibly, incredibly healing. And I remember another one, too. I did a drum cover on. That's the reason why I did the drum covers. This is back when I had my breakup with my ex. It's by Silverstein. It's called Oh Brave Mountains We Climb or Conquer, something like that. Can't remember. I think that's what it is. Just Google those wording and you'll find it. And the lyrics are insane. My name is anything that you want it to be. Your games are endless, but I can guarantee. Things like that. He doesn't know his name. He doesn't know his identity. That's how I felt, I've given up everything. I've let you take all of me. I'm slowly drowning I'm climbing mountains, but drowning in the sea. Things like that. I'm climbing mountains, but I feel like I'm drowning constantly in my sorrow and their grief and depression. And it's all my baggage as well. And that's how you feel. It really is. But yeah, look up Silverstein too. Phenomenal band. I've seen them live and backstage too. Great band. They're from Canada. But yeah, all this just ties together because it's a real thing, and I feel maybe today God wanted that to be said. You know, it's a real thing that's happening right now, and then anybody that is having those issues, like I said, let me know. I'll try to maybe put some articles down below in the description in the future if you guys need that. Part of the grieving process is also just talking about it. I kept a lot of it to myself because I didn't know how to internalize it. I didn't know who to tell. I didn't know who to trust. And I dated a lot of poor women after my ex because of that. And I had to get with myself. I had to get right with the Lord. I had to build my relationship stronger and build my confidence up again to be able to even give my heart away to another woman. Still single, so don't worry there. But I hate dating in this generation. But that's probably it that I can think of. Just all these things correlate though as to why I was very depressed, sad. I didn't want to film. Like, that's the other thing. You lose who you are. I didn't drum. I didn't want to film. I didn't want to go out. I didn't want to date. Like, I didn't want to do anything, man. I was miserable. Like, it was nasty. It was a nasty place and time in my life. And it went on for quite a while. And it's real, though. You know, these things actually happen. So I think it's so important that people understand. Yeah, my name's Danny. If you want to call me, it's whatever. You don't have to call me Drums or W Drums. But yeah, guys, I guess that's my testimony to narcissistic abuse. I should probably title that in there because I think it's important. You know, it's deep, but it's real. And I'm not saying that everyone should hate on the person I mentioned in the beginning of the video. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying watch his videos with an open mind more so now than anything, and don't look at it because what a lot of people don't understand is we are entertainers. A lot of stuff we do on YouTube and things is for views. A lot of people do it for attention. They act silly and weird to entertain people. I am really actually like that, believe it or not. But people will go to extremes and do really extreme, bizarre things to get a reaction out of people, good or bad. They just want the drama. I can think of one recently he did of him with this like big Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle punching bag. I remember him and his son, he taught him like how to punch and smash this thing's face. And I remember he's literally like, come here! And he's like fighting and kickboxing and smashing this toy in the ground. And then he has his son join in. That's warped parenting. I'm sorry. And I welcome him to comment or text me or whatever about this. Go ahead, dude. Go ahead. I haven't used your real name, so I respect you in that regard. So whatever. But you know what you did. The world's, not the world, but people are going to know. I hope they're educated to some degree to realize you aren't all you think you are. And God does see what you did and what you caused me and probably hundreds of other people, including your children and your wife. But it's not my place to judge you on that. That is the Lord's. So I will let him deal with you. And that's a message to you personally. Yeah, the Lord has helped heal me through my bitterness and my cold heart through all that because I had a lot of hatred towards that man. My ex, I had a lot of hatred, folks. Something that a Christian, Christ-practicing, preaching Christian should not be doing. I should be loving everybody and forgiving them constantly, as Matthew says. But I wasn't doing that. I was bearing grudges and harboring hatred, things Christians should not be doing because it's anti-Christian. And that's what the enemy wants. He always will be there when you're at your worst point, and that's where we're at, a spiritual war with ourselves. The war is already won. We're just pieces waiting for the puzzle to be fixed and placed into how the Lord needs it with Satan's war with us every day. And it's very real. You can say what you want if your beliefs are different, so be it, but it's very real, folks, and a narcissist is no exception. These people are real. They exist. But, just go in there with open minds in the future. You'll know little telltale signs now, and like I said, I'll try to post those articles to give you some insight on what's going on, what an empath is, if you guys want to know that too. It's pretty important stuff. It'll give you a new perspective of the world, because a lot of these famous celebrities in Hollywood and all that crap, a lot of them are narcissists, in all honesty. You see them behind camera and stuff, and a lot of them are jerks. They think they are so in love with themselves, they think they're their own gods, like all this stuff. That's the problem with show business and entertainment industries is these people get the high points of power they could use for good and for justice and liberty and things like that, but they're using it to further their own selfish gains and agendas. And that's the honest truth. That's what people aren't talking about. And I don't work for any company right now, so I don't care. I'm going to reveal the truth, and I know the Lord will protect me as he always does. One last thing before I let you go is my car dealership. I remember when they fired me, I still had access to their Facebook group, and that's where I had a little fun. I shouldn't have done it. God protected me. Thank the Lord for that one. But I thought in my mind, okay, so they don't want me ever here again? Okay, so I'll make it look like I was never there. I deleted all the videos and footage of videos and pictures and all those things that I did on their Facebook and social media that I did personally. They were never appreciative of them anyway. So I thought, you know what, they're going to keep complaining about it. Why not just delete it all? Delete the albums. Why do I care? I'm not working for them anymore. Little did I know that could actually get me in jail, possibly, but God is good, and police did nothing to me. They couldn't, or they didn't. My bosses were livid. They were all texting and calling me. Danny, did you do something to the internet? Did you do something to the Facebook albums? I was like, yeah, I did. I made it look like I was never there. Have a good day. I shouldn't have fought fire with fire. It's kind of against Christian morality, but the time it's what I did. God knows why I did it. He knows I'll never do it again. But it was pretty funny. They got their just desserts there, so that put a smile on my face. And same with my last business that I worked for. Not the one that I just got fired from recently, but the other one, my skin guy. His second business is still at the same point it was before with the social media and everything. So I'm laughing, still thinking, you're still at the same point. So that warms my heart, knowing that you haven't been really succeeding on your ideas. But that's probably not the best Christian thing to say either. But unfortunately, I'm a sinful human like anybody else, and I'm not denying it. So let's get to the comments. Let me see here. I went deep enough with everybody. I'm sorry about that, like I said. Let's see here. How's it going, Ben? Gamer Boy, hello. Thank you for tuning in. Thanks for the support, Ben. I do appreciate it, man. Let's see. Yeah, Jordan, he is like that. It's really unfortunate. It's always the most loving people in the public and the news and media's eye that really are the biggest monsters. That's how Lucifer is going to come too. When the Antichrist does come to power, he's going to be seen as one of the greatest people in the world. Everybody's going to love him. That's how scary this war is that we're dealing with right now, because he's going to be on this earth whenever he does come, and everybody's going to love him. Those that aren't strong in the word and in their Christian faith, they are going to be deceived. They are not going to understand he is a wolf in sheep's clothing. And that's how a lot of YouTubers are too. It's the sad truth. Hey, Nitro, I appreciate that, man. Like I said, you do what you have to do, man. If you want to support them, by all means, man. I have my own personal stories with them. It doesn't mean that it has to affect you in any way. I'm just shedding light to what happened. Yeah, Blake, you're right. The repercussions were not noticeable until much later on. It didn't hit me for a long time. Skylander dude, you'll see in the beginning. I'm not going to reiterate because it's a lot of stuff. Basically, in a nutshell, one of the YouTubers I talk about is just not that nice of a guy as he portrays he is, and he did a lot of hurtful things to me, and we were supposedly good friends, and all that ended very quickly over stupid views and videos on Skylanders. Yeah, we can do a live stream one day, Marley. I'll be down, man. Let's see here. What other ones? Hey, Isaac, appreciate that, man. Thank you so much. Yeah, I have the Lord, man. He is my shepherd. He's my sheep. You know, like, or I'm his sheep, you know. However the wording goes, you know, I have him as my threshold, and that's all I need to keep strong. To keep a positive mainframe. Yeah, Blake, a lot of manipulative people. And I'm not trying to be like, oh, poor W Drums, poor Dan, what a baby, you know, oh, poor him. I'm not doing that at all, guys. I had a lot of mistakes as well because I wasn't fully confident in who I was yet at the time. I made a lot of errors too. I didn't have a lot of self-respect for myself like I thought I did, or else I would have said, hey, no, you can't speak to me like that. That's not appropriate. You can't do that. That's not right. No. I didn't put my foot down until it was too late with all the companies, and I suffered the results. Let's see here. Let's see here. Hey, what's up, Demented Nightmares? What's up, man? Solid, hello. Crazy, what's up? Blastermind, I haven't seen you in a while. What's good, Rob? Let's see here. Oh, you're a dad, Blake. Oh, that's awesome, man. I'm really glad to hear your daughter likes my stuff. And I apologize in the past when I cursed and stuff in my videos. I learned very fast that I have to keep it kid-friendly, so I do apologize for those mistakes I made in the past. Yeah, crazy. The whole E3 age thing, it's a really fake environment. That's what's the sad thing. Do you think it'd be a great place of people all getting together for the same common goal and dream kind of thing and furthering their channels? No, it's all about who you can use, who you can talk to, who you can get interviewed by. Nobody's there to really actually get to know the products and the people behind them. They're just there to get their selfish gains in their channels, unfortunately, most of them. Crazy. Empaths, I think, can be of any type. I don't think they're just Christians. That's my ideology in my mind. It's what I've studied, the blackest and the whitest of concepts, good versus evil. The people that want to strive towards a Christ-like mentality and lifestyle tend to be more empathetic kind of type people. Narcissists are more types that stray away and go to Lucifer's teachings more so, how I've noticed it. Not saying all, but it's not uncommon that these people hate God. They told me, they acted on it, they got offended when I asked them certain questions. It's very interesting. And thanks, Moses. I appreciate the feedback, man. Thank you. Hey, what's up, Sebastian? Let's see here. Preston, what's up, brother? Thanks for joining in. No, you're good, man. Yeah, I hate dating too, Crazy. It's awful. I might make a video on it, honestly. Yeah, I know Deep Rich, Dylan James. Yeah, I actually, I'm pretty sure I physically knew him. Him and his sister and we hung out a lot in high school. What's dab mean, Kim? I'm not sure what that means. What's up, Super Brothers? What's going, man? I don't know what dab for us means. Dab? Do you mean dance or something? Or drum? I don't know what that means. I'll give you a second to respond. I don't know what that means. Anything? No, I don't see anything. I don't want to just sit here, but yeah, God, I'm exhausted now. But that's everything in a nutshell, everyone. Hope you all enjoyed. Dabs when you put your arms. Dab for us. What is that, like that, or like, I don't know what dab means. Like dance? I don't. God, I'm so out of date with what's going on trending. No, it's good, Ben. You have a good one, man. Thanks for tuning in. But I guess y'all ended on this note, guys. But thanks for watching. Thank you for the support. Apologize for the 3,000 something people that didn't care enough to stay this long for this story. Good riddance. Clearly didn't care about me that much. But not to worry, God's helped me understand the ones that are meant to be here and that actually care about me, are here on the channel, are interacting with me constantly, are invested in my life and what I'm doing and stuff. And final thing also is that I mentioned in the other video, I have a band that I'm doing great with right now called My Dog Bill. I'd really appreciate if you guys check us out. We're very Dave Matthews, funky, jazz, rock, hard rock, alternative, acoustic. We got flute, piano, keyboard. It's a great ensemble of individuals that I was blessed to meet through Craigslist that the Lord gave me, and we're working hard on getting the shows going, man. We got our set almost perfect now. I'm really excited. We got like almost 10, 12 songs in the working that are originals. So I'll leave our stuff down below. My drums are not yet recorded on their stuff. You can see them on the Facebook. We'll have some of our videos of my drumming in their basement and stuff, but the old drummer was not me. So, yeah, but that's what I'm doing a lot of my free time now, which has been making it harder to get new videos done and all that. And also I'm job searching again. And I explained in my other video of what I was doing, part 1. Also got in a car accident. So all that's explained in that video. So, yeah, yeah, that's pretty much it though. So I'll leave those links down below when I get a chance. I'll try to put some narcissistic empath kind of like links if you want. It's a good way for closure. There's a lot of Facebook groups. Surprisingly, it's a lot of women. Ironically, there's more male narcissists than females, and I've come to notice that too. That it's just really funny because a lot of these support groups, there's like no guys, and all the guys are bashed like crazy that are narcissists. So I feel awkward. I feel like the minority. So that's kind of weird. What did everybody else say here? Advice, Blake? Taking up drums. Let me see. To be patient. It's a hard craft to learn. The hardest thing for me was getting the bass drum, the kick drum. The hardest thing is to do things separately. Like anybody can really do like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Like keeping this constantly going. It gets hard where you have to do like double kicks or like syncopate the kick where it's not lining up, meaning like. See how there are those pauses and breaks and stuff? They're tough. That's tough to do. That's really advanced stuff. But yeah, basics though, Blake, if you or your daughter wanted to learn, you shoot me a message too on here. Actually, I can maybe give you lessons. I never thought about it, but it'd be a cool idea. But try to like a Skype lesson. I do that with my drum teacher frequently. But yeah, it's to get like a practice pad and sticks and learn the rudiments. The rudiments are the basic elementary foundations of drumming. So you have the two most important ones, which consist of all the rudiments. There's hundreds of rudiments, but the two basic ones that you need to master are singles, which are one note, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3, and do it really slow. And you have to start slow. You or your daughter would have to be very slow. And slowly pick it up. Ow, I'm gonna get my 30 seconds down. Singles is tough. And then go back to slow. And then doubles, 1, 2, 1, 2. A lot of people do not have their doubles articulated enough, which is, it's a hard rudiment to get, so like. There's that. Then the paradiddle is one of my favorites. It's a tough one. You have to add accents. So it's 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 and hurts like heck doing it on here. Like that. God, that hurts. Really tough. It's a fun one though. Those are the three basic foundations though. And then start doing that around the kit. Slowly. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Same with doubles. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Kind of like that. And just buy like a cheap drum kit if you want. I mean, you really could just get a drum pad, sticks, get a chair, and a kick pedal. And use like a soft sofa or kind of like chair. And use the kick drum that is your kick drum, because that's going to teach you control, power. Your muscles are going to burn like crazy. All of those things are going to be very helpful when learning drums, because you're going to build those muscle memories up, which is what it's all about. You have to feel that burning. And also think of it like this. You have to get good with your wrist you have to go as fast as you can before you can utilize fingers, which is where you get your speed from. Like that. My teacher would make me do this, and it was so embarrassing. Like, literally clap, like, it's tough. And then you can slowly get speed. But you got to start off with, a lot of people do arms first and stuff. They're all tense. You got to be relaxed. Be like, yeah, what's up, bro? Don't do all this chicken wing stuff. My teacher told me to keep them in like this. And just slowly work your way through those techniques. Because I did everything fast at first, and that ruins it. You need to build the right foundation at a slow pace so your body gets used to that. Kick drum as well. You do like 1, 2, 3, 4. And the kick drum is very simple, and slowly start incorporating fills and things like that. But that's like a basis of drums, though. Man, I could go on and on with that one. I see you, Nitro. Let me see here. Yeah, I'm happy it helps. Crazy. Let's see. Oh yeah, crazy. They're out there. They're female and male. Don't get me wrong. There is no sexism or gender differences. They're the same. Nationality, I was adopted from Russia. I think I explained in the last video, actually, but I was adopted from Russia. I have like the Russian pale skin, the long nose, the jaw frame, and all that. My parents couldn't have one of their own, so they did adopt me at a young age. I'm thinking about bringing that into my Christian testimony video I'll have to do sometime this week. Let's see here. I was tuning in. I got a breath. Smart guy. Nice, man. Hey, Isaac, I love you too, man. I appreciate everything, man. Freaked out by what, Marley? My glasses are filthy. Well, that's pretty much it, guys. Yeah, let me know in the comments below if you want QAs or something. You know, we can do that question and answers. Want more info on narcissists or topics like this. Oh, reverse songs. Yeah, dude, those are weird. I wouldn't tread into that. That's for a different video entirely. Yeah, I can do videos, more drum stuff. You guys want that? I'm gonna be trying to add my band stuff to this channel more and more. So hopefully you guys will be supportive of that and interested in that. And yeah, I'll leave it at that. It's been a long enough video, so thank you so much for watching, the support. God bless you all, and have a great rest of your day. What, did you see the thing I said earlier? One broke my homeboy. Oh, really? Jeez, dude. Yeah, my ex, she took my, she gave me a car radio thing as a present because she knew I wanted a new one. I left it at her house one time, never got it back. Kept saying over and over before we broke up, I'm like, can I just get my car radio thing back? She never gave it to me. She stole that though, and she gave it to me as a Christmas present. Go figure. Oh, you're right, Marley. Yep. Reverse popular songs backwards, and you'll get some interesting little things there. Satan was the greatest musician in heaven. There's a reason why the music industry is very corrupt anymore. And I plan to be with my band and not sell our souls and actually make a difference in the world. Heal people with our music. And make their days better. Not be all about the money, be more about the passion, the love of meeting new people and things like that, and sharing our gifts with the world. That's what it should be about. But I've ranted enough now. Thanks again, guys. God bless, and have a great day. Peace!